Part 19. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 182. Yeah, Lei replied. Is it delicious? Len Ning smiled at Lei and continued to ask. It's delicious, Lei Ting replied with 2 words this time. As long as it tastes good, Len Ning stood up. Let's go, brother, I'll take you around the resort. Then he went to hold Lei Ting's hand again. Lei was slightly startled but did not refuse. From the moment Xiao Ning woke up, he found that Xiao Ning was different from before. She used to be timid, reserved, and shy. Like a daisy in bud. The sunshine I saw this time was brilliant, like a passionate and unrestrained sunflower. But no matter what kind of personality he has, his preference is what he likes. Just because she is Xiaoning, the sister he has cared for since childhood. Soon, Len Ning took Lei Ting downstairs. At this time, the yard downstairs had already been cleaned up, and except for some bloodstains, the zombie bodies were long gone. Did Zhou Tao and the others also go to help? Len Ning muttered and asked. Before, the elder brother said that Sister Red Fox and the others were cleaning the battlefield, which undoubtedly meant that they were cleaning up zombie corpses and crystal nuclei by the way. She didn't see the members of her Manman team upstairs, so they probably weren't idle either. Yeah, Lei responded. Xiaoning's people also killed a lot of zombies, and the crystal core should have their share. Oh. Then let's not go looking for them. I'll take you to the farm to see, Len Ning suddenly said. The zombie wave was so fierce this time, and she didn't know if the 2 cows she kept on the farm were okay. Okay, Thunder, let Len Ning arrange it. Len Ning's face lit up with joy, and he led Lei towards the farm. The 3rd floor of the activity building. Yuan Xing, who was cleaning up the battlefield on the balcony, saw this scene. Hey, look! Yuan Xing stopped what he was doing and said to Zhou Tao, who was standing aside. Zhou Tao stood up and saw this scene. Boss and Mr. Lei have such a good relationship, Zhou Tao said with a little envy, raising the corner of his mouth. Yuan Xing glanced at Zhou Tao, but he had some different thoughts in his heart. Didn't this guy say he likes the boss? Although Mr. Lei and the eldest brother are brothers and sisters, they are not close. Did he take it seriously, not jealous at all? After touching his head, Yuan Xing thought about it and decided to forget it. What kind of character is Mr. Lei? There is also the age difference between him and the boss, maybe he is overthinking it. However, isn't this guy a little too nervous? Yellow Monkey and Black Tiger also saw the scene on the 2nd floor. Young lady has indeed changed a lot. Huang Ho stopped what he was doing and looked at the backs of Len Ning and Lei as they left. In this post-apocalyptic world, it is a pleasure to hear such clear laughter and see such beautiful scenery. I hope the boss can get what he wants as soon as possible. Black Tiger followed. Huang Ho was stunned. What? You accept the young lady as our sister-in-law so soon? Then he said, a little dissatisfied. Black Tiger continued to do his own business. It doesn't matter whether you accept it or not. The most important thing is that the boss likes her. After so many years with the boss, he has never seen any kind of beauty. Once he saw his boss being plotted against him. It's a pity that even after reaching that point, the boss didn't find a woman to solve the problem. Instead, he endured it and asked him to call a doctor. Except for the young lady, the boss has never been attracted to other women. In order to prevent his eldest son from becoming gay, even if the young lady is not so perfect, she is still the best choice for his sister-in-law. What's more, the young lady now is different from before. She is so strong that she is a perfect match to stand with the boss. There are still 8 more updates to go, so I'm going to mend my crotch slowly. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 183. Huang Ho glanced at Black Tiger, sighed, and stopped arguing with Black Tiger. Also, the most important thing is that the boss likes you. It's a pity that the boss is so wise and powerful, but he only has poor vision when it comes to choosing women. On the 5th floor, Red Fox was directing Zheng Peng to clean up the battlefield. I also saw the scene from the window. With a smile on her face, she sincerely expressed her blessing to Lei Lei. Unlike Huang Monkey and Black Tiger, she treated the young lady as a younger sister in addition to a master-servant relationship. When the young lady is with the boss, she has 10,000 supporters. Here, Len Ning has brought Lei Ting to the farm. Then, Len Ning led Lei Lei to the place where he raised cows. Great, they're fine. Seeing the two cows grazing leisurely in their respective pastures, Len Ning had a smile on his face. After the end of the world, she got a lot of vegetables, grains, and oils, but only the problem of meat could not be solved. There was not much meat left from the cow she slaughtered before, and now she was relying on the meat from the two remaining cows to continue her life. When the zombie wave came, besides worrying about her family, she was most worried about these two cows. Fortunately, they were okay. Len Ning was in a good mood, opened the door lock of one of the ranches, and entered the ranch. The cow was very kind. When he saw Len Ning coming, he did not stop her from approaching, but allowed her to pet him. Seeing Len Ning caring so much for the cow, Lei Lei frowned. "We're afraid we won't be able to take these two cows away," he said afterwards. According to Xiao Ning's previous reminder, when they came back, they bought lots of jade along the way. Although the appearance rate of space jade is not high, because they obtained a large amount of jade, they also accumulated a lot of space jade. With the space jade, they naturally collected a lot of supplies. Space jade is indeed a rare treasure, but unfortunately, no living things can be placed in it. Xiao Ning liked these two cows so much that he should have found a way to bring them with her. But the road back to the Thunder base is not close, and it has to pass through a road with many zombies. It will be very troublesome to carry two such big animals. Len Ning was stunned and turned to look at his eldest brother. "Why can't you take him away? Can't you just kill him?" then he asked Lei Lei in confusion. Then he looked at the jade ring on Lei Ting's hand. "Brother, is that a space ring on your hand?" he asked with interest. "Yeah," Lei Lei replied, feeling a little surprised. "Kill? Xiao Ning's love actually just likes their meat?" He was overthinking it. Then, Lei Lei took out two space jade rings from his own space ring. "Send it to you." Then he stepped forward and handed the jade ring to Len Ning. Len Ning was stunned. "Wow, brother, are you so rich?" He looked at the space ring in Lei Lei's hand with gleaming eyes. Just as he was about to put his claws on, he still stopped. Raising the space ring on her hand, Len Ning smiled a little awkwardly. "Actually, I have two here." She already had two and was too embarrassed to ask for her elder brother's again. "Take it." "I have a lot more." Lei Lei raised the corner of his mouth slightly. Len Ning was stunned. "What? A lot of?" Then, he immediately snatched the space ring from Lei Ting's hand. "A lot, right? Then why is she so polite?" Seeing Lei Lei looking in a good mood, Len Ning felt a little uncomfortable. "I originally thought that I would be doing pretty well with the memories I had before my rebirth. But compared with the elder brother, okay, what were you talking about before?" You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 184. Compared with thunder, you can't live with yourself. Looking at Len Ning's appearance, Lei Lei was in a good mood. "You can tell me anything you want then." The big hand couldn't help but rub Len Ning's head. "It's great to see such a sunny and cheerful Xiao Ning." Len Ning felt sweet in her heart, and finally stopped worrying about the fact that her space jade did not have as much thunder. "We are leaving tomorrow, so these two cows must be dealt with quickly." Then Len Ning looked at the two cows again. The poor two cows continued to eat grass, completely unaware that Len Ning was already thinking about them. Well, I'll let Huang Ho handle it later, Lei Ting said. Okay, she just wanted to do it herself. But now that someone has done it, of course she is happy and free. There are many vegetables and fruits in this farm. Len Ning remembered and said quickly. Let Black Tiger pick it, Lei Lei said directly. Len Ning raised the corner of his mouth. Brother who is so busy, I'm sorry to trouble him. Besides, the farm is so big, he probably can't handle it by himself. I'll ask Zhou Tao and the others to help handle it when I get back later, he continued. Compared to the yellow monkey, Len Ning is still more considerate of the black tiger. Although the black tiger looks scary, he has a much better personality than the yellow monkey, and he takes more care of her. Hearing the name Zhou Tao from Len Ning again, Lei Lei frowned slightly. By the way, brother, do you want to practice your skills? Len Ning suddenly smiled slyly at Lei Lei. Lei Lei was stunned. Not far from here, there is a pre-apocalyptic breeding base. Most of the poultry inside have mutated. Zhang Peng and I tried to investigate before, but failed. There are too many animal zombies inside, and the probability of normal poultry should be very small. She had considered the place to be dangerous before, and the poultry had been living in that small place before the apocalypse. Even if they turned into zombies, they would retain their pre-apocalyptic living habits and would not take the initiative to cause trouble. She never thought about causing trouble again. But now she has to leave here, and she will never have the chance to choose there again, and she will inevitably feel a little unhappy when she thinks about it. Now that her eldest brother is here, she has nothing to fear. Besides, she just wanted to take this opportunity to see her eldest brother's current strength. The lightning element at the peak of the third level is quite domineering. Okay, Lei Lei replied. Since Xiao Ning wanted to go, he would accompany her. Len Ning's face lit up with joy and he immediately set off with thunder. Along the way, he kept telling Lei Lei about his stay at the resort these days. Soon, the breeding base arrived. When he came to this place again, perhaps because he was accompanied by Lei Lei, Len Ning didn't find it as eerie as last time. Let's go, brother, Len Ning said to Lei Ting with a smile. Yeah, Lei Lei took a long step and entered the breeding base. As soon as he entered, Lei Lei felt a chill. The sounds of animal zombies quickly appeared all around. Then, there was a sudden loud noise, and a large group of zombie chickens rushed towards him and Len Ning. Lei Lei dodged, hugged Len Ning, and quickly protected Len Ning in his arms. Then the lightning in his hand was released, electrocuting all the zombies that came towards him and burning them to charcoal. All the zombie chickens were killed and fell to the ground. Are you okay? A magnetic voice sounded in Len Ning's ears. Len Ning blushed and hurriedly came out of Lei Ting's arms. No, it's okay. Feeling his face burning, Len Ning hurriedly stood further away from Lei Ting. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 185. Damn it, this is her eldest brother. Why does she always blush and her heart beats when she is close to him? Of course Lei Ting noticed Len Ning's reaction and felt a little distraught. Since it was very likely that he could not get together with Xiao Ning in her previous life, why didn't he be bolder in this life? Instead of handing Xiao Ning over to someone he didn't know and who might hurt her, why couldn't that person be himself? With this idea in mind, the thunder became more relaxed. Although he has never been in love, he can learn. Xiao Ning was worth his extra effort. Poor Len Ning still doesn't know that the eldest brother she has respected for 2 lifetimes has already made up his mind to attack her. Let's go in and take a look. Len Ning moved his gaze forward and diverted his attention. At the same time, he stretched out his hand and took out Xiao Man Lai. After some rest, Xiao Bao's healing, and a delicious meal, Len Ning felt that most of his mental strength had been restored. She was not worried about using Xiaoman at this time. Lei Lei's eyes froze slightly when he saw the vine in Len Ning's hand. On the phone before, he heard his sister talk about her planned spiritual pet, which seemed to be called Xiaoman. Now that I see it, I am a little bit looking forward to its strength. The third-level wood mutation system, as can be seen from the many corpses in the mobile building, Xiaoning should not be underestimated now. Len Ning led Lei Lei into a closed and roofed chicken shed. Of course there were no live chickens inside, but there were no less than 20 zombie chickens. Seeing two humans intruding into their territory, the originally listless zombie chickens suddenly became as energetic as fighting cocks, and all flew towards the two men in excitement. Len Ning didn't panic, and finally made a move when Lei Lei behind him couldn't help but want to take action. I saw the Xiaoman in Len Ning's hand activated instantly, and 3 vines shot out quickly, piercing the zombie chicken's neck. The heads of 3 zombie chickens were severed in one go. Then, the branches of the vines knocked several zombie chickens away, knocking them from the air to the ground. The zombie chickens quickly got up and prepared to attack Len Ning again. Len Ning's face turned cold, and he ordered Xiaoman to kill directly. After a while, the only thing moving on the ground was a chicken head. Turning around, Len Ning looked at Lei Lei with a rather proud expression. Although her third-level peak wood-type mutation power is definitely not as domineering as Thunder's Thunder-type power, if she were to fight against the same level power from other types, I'm afraid not many people can beat her. Not bad, Lei Lei said. Len Ning. Can't you show a little surprise? Or is your strength not shocking enough? Let's go and see other places. Thinking of this, Len Ning felt very unconvinced. He decided that he must amaze his elder brother with his strength. She was reborn, and she was a third-level superpower when she woke up. Why should she be the strongest person now besides him, Thunderbolt? The eldest brother was too disrespectful to her. But Len Ning didn't know that Lei Lei had already expected her strength, so he wasn't that surprised by the strength Len Ning showed just now. Furthermore, he has a calm temperament, and rarely experiences ups and downs in mood. The most important thing is that from the moment he made up his mind to pursue Len Ning, he completely regarded Len Ning as the person he wanted to protect for the rest of his life. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 186. Since that's the case, it's enough to have him be stronger. Next, Len Ning led Thunder to destroy the breeding base. First, she would do it herself. After her mental strength was no longer enough, she would let Lei Ting do it. In less than an hour, the two of them had cleaned up the breeding base. Fortunately, the trip was not entirely in vain. Len Ning collected a lot of poultry eggs. This is a good thing. Not only can it be used for cooking, but it can also be taken to the Thunder base for incubation. You must know that although the poultry have all turned into zombies, these eggs have not. If there were any small poultry in these eggs, she would be happy. After coming out of the poultry base, Len Ning and Lei Lei continued to walk around the farm. I walked around for almost an hour before turning back with Lei Lei. After returning, Len Ning immediately gathered the Manman team and assigned the task of picking vegetables from the farm. Lei Lei also informed Huang Ho to slaughter the cow, and asked him to clean the beef and bring it back. Seeing the eyes of the black tiger and red fox laughing at his weirdness, the yellow monkey felt very reluctant. But there is no other way. Who should let the boss speak? In this way, Len Ning spent the most relaxing day in the resort since the end of the world. The next day, everyone finally set off to the Thunder base. In the car, Lei Ting drove the car himself, Len Ning sat in the passenger seat, and Lei's mother sat in the back seat. The group of people, in a total of 4 vehicles, headed towards the city. The car driven by the 4-color group was at the front, followed by the car driven by Thunder. Uncle Liang's car was behind, and finally Manman's team's car was behind. The car was driving on the road, and everyone was in a high mood. First, the yellow monkey was shaking his head in the first car. Then the Manman team also became restless. Len Ning sat in the passenger seat and listened to the sounds outside, with a smile on his face. Lei Lei didn't say a word and was serious from beginning to end. Soon, the car entered a main highway. There began to be more zombies on both sides of the road. Everyone who was shouting in the car finally stopped their interest and shut up obediently. After a while, the front suddenly braked. Lei Lei frowned and quickly stepped on the brakes. The three people in the car leaned forward heavily due to inertia. Thunder looked ahead. I saw Hai-Hu coming down from the cab. Then came the yellow monkey and the red fox. Len Ning realized something was wrong and quickly opened the door and got out of the car. "What's wrong?" Len Ning stepped forward and asked. "The road is damaged, we have to walk there." Red Fox turned back and frowned at Len Ning. Len Ning stepped forward quickly and discovered that there were huge cracks and even deep pits on a long stretch of road ahead. It's not an off-road vehicle. Ordinary cars really can't pass such a road surface. Then let's walk, Len Ning said. Then, without waiting for the people in the four-color group to reply, they turned back and ran towards Thunder. After running to Lei Lei rolled down the car window. The road ahead collapsed and cars can't pass. "We have to walk," Len Ning said solemnly. Lei Lei frowned. In the rearview mirror, I saw my mother in the back seat looking a little nervous. Len Ning followed Lei Lei's line of sight and noticed this situation. "Mom's physical condition is not as good as ours. Brother, you can carry her on your back later," Len Ning continued. The damaged section of road didn't look short, at least it was full of bad road as far as the eye could see. This trip back to the Thunder base may not be so easy. "Yeah," Lei Lei responded. Then he turned off the engine, pulled the handbrake, opened the door and got out of the car. At this time, the Red Fox also came. "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 187. Boss Red Fox looked serious. "What's going on?" Lei Lei asked in a deep voice. "There should have been earthquakes and landslides on this section of the road before. I don't know yet whether it can be passed on foot," Red Fox replied. "Huang Ho has already gone to inquire about the specific road conditions, and he should be back with news soon." Lei Lei nodded and looked forward. Len Ning followed. "Well, after all, it is a four-color group, and it is more thoughtful." Seeing Len Ning coming over, Lei Lei suddenly had a windbreaker in his hand. Then he carefully put it on Len Ning's shoulders. "It's windy, so be careful," he warned. Len Ning felt warm in his heart. "I know," he replied with a slight blush. She always felt that the eldest brother in this life was different from the previous one, but when she thought about it carefully, she didn't understand what the difference was. The Red Fox looked at this beautiful scene with a picturesque smile. At this time, Lei Mu also got out of the car. "Thunder, what's going on?" Lei's mother asked her son as they walked away. "Mom, it's okay. Let's wait until Huang Ho confirms the road conditions. If there's no problem, let's cross over again." Lei Lei turned around and walked towards Lei Mu. At this time, everyone in the Manman team also got out of the car. However, they didn't get out of the car to see the scenery or take a rest, but to clean up the zombies chasing after them. Lei Mu heard a noise from behind, turned around, and saw the scene of the Manman team killing zombies. Len Ning was a little worried at first, but he saw that Lei Mu did not react violently, but just stood there, looking in that direction. She didn't say anything. Mom Lei Lei took out another coat from the space ring and put it on Lei's mother's shoulders. "When she returns to the Thunder base, my mother will never have to experience or see this again." Lei's mother didn't look back, she just patted Lei Ting's hand on her shoulder. For a time, the family of three felt a little heavy. The mountain wind was blowing, and after an unknown amount of time, the yellow monkey finally appeared within the sight of everyone. After a while, the yellow monkey ran back all the way. "Boss, the damaged road is not very long. According to my calculation, it is only less than 2 kilometers. However, many traces on the road indicate that the damage may not be entirely due to natural disasters." Len Ning was stunned. "It's not just natural disasters, it means there are man-made factors involved. They have now entered the main city, and this road was not a main road before the end of the world. Who will destroy it? I guess it's to isolate the zombies from the two directions from passing here along the road," Huang Ho said, taking out a tablet computer. There was a detailed electronic map on the computer. "I saw that this road used to be a fork in the main road, and it was indeed the gathering place of many roads." Len Ning frowned. "So there are a lot of zombies on the other side of the road." Lei Lei motioned to Huang Monkey to put the tablet away. "This is the closest road back to Thunder Base. It's only 5 kilometers away from here. Just go from here then," he said in a deep voice. "If you choose to take a detour, the distance will be more than twice as long, and you will have to pass through the pre-apocalyptic downtown area. The risks you will experience may not be less than taking this route." "Yes," Huang Ho said immediately. "Get ready to go. Yellow Monkey and Black Tiger will take the lead, and you follow Xiaoning's people to the end." Lei Lei then looked at Red Fox. "Yes, boss." Red Fox immediately accepted the order and then walked towards the back. The Yellow Monkey walked towards the Black Tiger in front. Then, Lei Lei put the car into his space ring. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 188. "Mom, come up then," Lei Ting knelt down and said to Lei Mu behind him. Lei's mother glanced at Len Ning and saw Len Ning nodding towards her, then she got on Lei Ting's back. Lei Lei stood up, carried Lei Mu, and walked forward with Len Ning. Along the way, Lei's mother felt a little complicated. The son has really grown up and has a broad and solid back like his deceased father. "Mom, we should be able to go home in half an hour," Len Ning said to Lei's mother when she saw that she looked a little lonely. Yeah, Lei's mother retracted her thoughts and a smile appeared on her face. "I will personally cook some delicious dishes for you then," he said. "Go home." The current Thunder Base was indeed the home of her and Thunder's father. But since Lei Lei's father died, she hasn't been back for a long time. There are so many memories in that place, good and bad, all related to Lei Ting's father. After so many years, she didn't want to go back. Now, it is necessary to go back. Fortunately, her son and daughter are still there. She is not alone. How many things are enough? I want to eat fish-flavored shredded pork, minced pork and eggplant, tomato scrambled eggs. Len Ning read out a long list of home-cooked dishes at once. "Okay, Mom will do it for you." Lei Mu immediately became energetic. In this way, Len Ning chatted with Lei's mother, followed Lei Lei, and soon reached the end of the bad road. It was exactly what Huang Hao said. Not far from the end of this bad road was a Y-shaped intersection, and there were a lot of zombies on the other two roads. When Len Ning and his party arrived, the Yellow Monkey and the Black Tiger were already working together to use their special powers to kill the zombies coming towards them. Thunder put Lei Mu off her back. Then he took the car out of the space ring in an orderly manner. "Mom, you get in the car first." Then he arranged for Lei Mu to get in the car. Lei's mother looked at the zombies that were constantly coming toward them, and was so frightened that she couldn't move. "Mom, don't worry, let me handle it." Lei Lei looked at Lei Mu and said. Okay. Lei's mother calmed down a little, and got into the car with Len Ning's help. Lei Lei closed the car door and began to take off his coat. Len Ning was still confused, but Lei Ting had already handed her the coat she had taken off. Seeing that Len Ning didn't answer, Lei Lei turned to look at her again. "Hold it for me." Len Ning subconsciously reached out and took Lei Ting's coat. After taking it, I realized that his eldest brother's coat didn't look like much, but it was actually quite heavy. Looking at the fabric, the quality is expensive, and the price will definitely be high before the end of the world. After Lei Ting had walked out, Len Ning came back to his senses and interrupted his thoughts about Lei Ting's jacket. The eldest brother is also true. He wears 2 space rings on his hands, and there are other space jade items in the space rings. Can't he just throw this coat into the space ring? It's easier to use things when you put them in your own hands, right? Not far away, Thunder had already signaled Yellow Monkey and Black Tiger to deal with the zombies on the other road. He used his thunder power to deal with the large wave of zombies coming from the direction they were about to leave. Yes, it's a zombie wave. The road they came from before was the lower part of the Y-shaped intersection. They were supposed to gather and evacuate the zombies coming from the 2 directions above. However, because the road was destroyed, a large number of zombies gathered and wandered at this intersection, making it impossible to evacuate. Eventually it gathered into a large zombie wave. The Thunder system is indeed the most domineering combat power. As soon as the Thunderbolt took action, it killed a large number of zombies. After the power of several thunders and lightnings were released, the originally dark wave of zombies seemed to be opened in an instant dash. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 189. Soon, the Red Fox and Manman teams also arrived. I saw my boss standing on the sidelines watching the battle with Thunder's suit. The Manman team all had a strange mood. But no one can tell what is so weird about it. Oh my god, Master Lei's skills are so cool. Zhou Tao came forward and looked at Lei's back with envy. Yeah. Young Master Lei's strength is many times that of ours, Yuan Xing followed. He is indeed his idol. Zhang Peng also nodded. Including Xiaobao, who was carried by Yang Meijun, also looked at Lei in shock. It turns out that except for their boss, there is really someone who can fight against a large group of zombies with the power of one person. Not to mention Lei Xiao, even the people in the 4-color group are much better than us, Zhang Peng said suddenly. His eyes were already looking at the members of the 4-color group who were struggling to kill zombies. Indeed, these people are indeed Mr. Lei's confidants, each with their own unique abilities. It's good to know the difference. When you go to the Thunder base, you have to work harder, Len Ning said solemnly. Well, although she doesn't think the Manman team has the strength to compete with the 4-color group in the short term. But that doesn't mean it will always be like this. The members of the 4-color group have undergone rigorous training since childhood, and their physiques are inherently better than ordinary people. In addition, they followed Thunder back on a long journey, obtaining crystal cores and participating in actual battles along the way, which resulted in the rapid increase in superpower levels. But their Manman team is all young people. Saying this seems to make people in the 4-color groups old. But the average age of the 4-color group is indeed 7 or 8 years older than them. Their dynamic team is sure to make a mark. Yes, Manman team said immediately. They were proud before. From today on, they must catch up and aim for the 4-color group. Boss, I request to join the war, Zhou Tao suddenly said to Len Ning. I'll go too, Yuan Xing continued. And me, Zhang Peng also followed. Len Ning glanced at his subordinates and said, okay, he agreed. Everyone in the Manman team immediately joined the battlefield. Seeing that all his men were gone, Len Ning suddenly felt a little itchy. But she was holding Thunder's clothes in her hand. It would have been very simple to put the clothes into the space ring, but strangely, she vaguely didn't want to do it. After enduring it, Len Ning gave up the idea of joining the fight. Watch from the sidelines. The battle lasted for about 20 minutes, and everyone ended the battle before their mental strength declined. Lei was the first to turn around and walk towards Len Ning, with a faint smile on his face. Len Ning's little heart was beating loudly when he saw it. It's strange to say that my eldest brother is always serious about his words. His smile is so attractive. Seeing the sweat on Lei Lei's face, Len Ning quickly withdrew his gaze, and then took out the handkerchief from the space ring in a panic. "Brother, wipe your sweat then." Not daring to look at Lei Lei, he handed the handkerchief forward. Lei Lei glanced at the shy Len Ning, and the smile on his lips became deeper. "Your hands are dirty, please wipe them for me." Then he leaned down and walked directly in front of Len Ning. Len Ning's heart suddenly beat wildly. Subconsciously, I want to retreat. But he held back at the last second. Then he blushed and took the handkerchief, really wiping the sweat from Lei Lei. Really, why is she so guilty? This is her eldest brother, a eldest brother who is closer than her own eldest brother. Thinking of this, Len Ning felt a lot more at ease and continued to wipe Lei Ting's sweat seriously. Lei Mu on the side also saw this scene. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Ki Now. Chapter 190. Unfortunately, she only glanced at it and looked away with a smile, without even thinking in that direction. This time, my son is more concerned about his daughter, which is a good thing. My son's character is too withdrawn. Now he knows how to soften his edges in front of his family, which will be more conducive to family unity. Soon, Len Ning had already wiped Lei Ting's sweat away. The members of the four-color group and the Manman team also returned one after another. Boss, I'm out of water, can you give me some? At this time, Huang Ho came over. Lei Lei glanced at Huang Ho, then took out a bottle of water from his space ring and threw it to Huang Ho. Then, seeing Black Tiger coming over, he also threw a bottle to him. Huang Ho was okay, he unscrewed the bottle and poured it directly into his mouth, and drank. But in front of everyone, Hai Hu unscrewed the cap and washed his hands with the water. Len Ning was a little shocked when he saw Lei Lei also take out a bottle of water and wash his hands like Black Tiger. Len Ning. The water used for washing hands is not the same as the water bottle used for drinking. Don't get me wrong, miss, I didn't waste water. Seeing Len Ning looking at him, Hai Hu explained. Len Ning took a look and saw that the water bottle in Black Tiger's hand was indeed different from that in Huang Monkey's hand. Look at the bottle used by Thunder again. Same as Black Tiger's. Len Ning looked at Lei Lei, his eyes filled with resentment. The eldest brother just said that he asked her to help wipe the sweat because his hands were dirty. But isn't he washing his hands now? Lei Lei turned around and smiled at Len Ning, and winked at Len Ning again. Len Ning subconsciously turned his head and avoided the smile. Glancing at Len Ning's blushing face, Lei Ting felt very comfortable. Get in the car. Lei Lei soon packed himself up and said in a deep voice. Let's go, get in the car and set off. Huang Hao immediately clapped his hands and said to the crowd happily. So everyone got on the bus, and the convoy set off again in the same arrangement as when it came, and continued to the Thunder base. The road ahead is much easier. Although there are still many zombies on the road, due to the lack of weather, there is a zombie wave, which cannot stop the convoy from moving forward. After almost half an hour, the team finally saw the Thunder base. I saw a large, lush mountain range surrounded by high walls, heavily guarded, and completely isolated from the surrounding area. Soon, the convoy arrived at the largest entrance of the Thunder base. The Black Tiger stopped ahead, and the Yellow Monkey negotiated with the personnel on duty. Then, the person on duty left in a hurry. About 15 minutes later, an elegant and handsome man hurried over. He ran to Lei Lei's car window and bowed to Lei Lei. Boss. This person is Blue Snake, the only person in the four-color group who remains in City A. He is also the person who single-handedly created the Thunder base. Blue Snake is not the strongest among the four-color groups in terms of combat prowess, and can even be considered the worst, but his planning and execution skills are the best among the four. The towering Thunder base in front of us is enough to explain everything. Yeah, Lei responded. Get in the car and talk when we get back, then he said in a deep voice. Blue Snake's face lit up with joy. She quickly opened the door, got in the car and sat next to Lei Mu. It's a great honor that the boss is willing to take him along. Hi, brother Lan. Len Ning saw Lan Snake getting on the car and immediately turned around to say hello to Lan Snake. Miss Blue Snake couldn't believe that the girl with a bright smile in front of her was Len Ning. Haha, we haven't seen each other for only 2 months. Why does brother Lan act like he doesn't know me anymore? Len Ning asked with a smile. It's embarrassing to say that before the end of the world, although she and Blue Snake met many times, they rarely spoke. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 191. No, Blue Snake said quickly. By the way, I glanced at Lei who was driving ahead. Lei Ting's face really doesn't look good right now, but unfortunately he is in the driver's seat and others can't see the expression on his face at all. Brother Lan, I heard that you are in charge of the Thunder Base during his absence. You did a great job. Len Ning looked at Blue Snake with admiration. I really admire it. The Thunder Base she saw now was much more majestic than the Thunder Base in the early apocalypse of the previous world. Although it is said that it was because she reminded Lei Ting, and then Lei Ting arranged for Blue Snake to make preparations in advance, and the base may have been built like this. Blue Snake's abilities are indeed powerful. In fact, before the Thunder returned to Cydia in the previous life, the Thunder Base was initially managed by Blue Snake. After Thunder came back, Blue has been responsible for some infrastructure layout and other work in the base. Blue Snake is really good at this. At this time, Lei suddenly increased his speed, everyone leaned back, and the car directly overtook the car in front and ran towards the mountain. Len Ning looked back at Lei Ting. Brother, what's going on? Anxious to get home? Without thinking much, Len Ning turned back and continued talking to Blue Snake. Brother Lan, do you have time in the afternoon? Let's take our Manman team to visit the base. She was familiar with the Thunder Base in her previous life, but in this life, she had seen a lot of changes along the way. So, by the way, she also wanted to visit the base with the team members. Blue Snake carefully glanced in the direction of Thunder, and said in her heart, Miss, can you please stop teasing me like this? Can't you tell that their boss is already jealous? Miss, I'm sorry. I'm a little busy this afternoon. Blue Snake quickly found a reason to refuse. Len Ning's face suddenly felt a little disappointed. But I can arrange for someone to show you around, Blue Snake said quickly. Okay, it works. Thank you, brother Lan. Len Ning's face immediately brightened up again. You're welcome, Miss Blue Snake replied nervously. Len Ning looked at the buildings and people outside. He became more and more excited and began to ask Blue Snake questions. But the Blue Snake always avoided her eyes, dodged and hesitated when answering. This quickly made Len Ning lose interest. Finally, Lei drove the car to the Lei family mansion and stopped. Two well-dressed men at the door immediately came forward and opened the door for Lei in the driver's seat and the people in the back seat respectively. After getting out of the car, the Lei family looked at the majestic single-family villa in front of them, feeling quite moved in their hearts. Let's go home, Lei said to Lei Mu and Len Ning. The family of three looked at each other and finally entered Lei's house. Lei's mother was a little tired, so she asked Yang Meijun to take her to the bedroom to rest, and then stopped talking. As for Lei, as soon as he entered the door, he called the four-color group and asked everyone to follow him to the study on the second floor for a meeting. Blue Snake thought about her promise to Len Ning to arrange a guide for her. Before going to the study, she called a guard in from the door and asked him to obey Len Ning's instructions. Len Ning was very satisfied with this. In the courtyard of the Lei family mansion, everyone in the Manman team, including Xiaobao, stood in a row and faced Len Ning. I have just asked my servants to arrange accommodation for everyone. You three can allocate rooms 201, 202, and 203 on the second floor of the mansion by yourself, Len Ning said and looked at Zhou Tao, Yuan Xing, and Zheng Peng. Since he is hers, he naturally lives in Lei's house like the people in the four-color group. This will make it easier for them to move together later. Anyway, Lei's eye is also very big. The three of them looked happy. Thank you, boss, they immediately said in unison.